back to Tech Tuesdays. Um, Today's Tech Tuesday is going to be over tech updates and getting started with ClassLink. So we are your technology integration team. We have our director on the call, Isabel Espinoza. And then I, Sherry Harris, Marissa Lopez, and Joshua Voiles, we're all instructional technology coordinators. So we exist to help teachers use technology to make the classroom a better place. And you can find any of our resources on midlandisd.net/iTech. We also send out information on X, YouTube, and if you ever need help, you can email techhelp@midlandisd.net and they will get you to the right people. So this year we are doing things a little bit differently. This week we are going to a bi-weekly schedule for our virtual Tech Tuesdays. We will have 2 sessions, each of them 30 minutes. Our first one is 3:30 to 4. It is geared more towards our elementary campuses, but our secondary teachers can still get a lot of helpful information. And then 4:30 to 5 is geared towards our secondary teachers since they get out later this year. We had to kind of push that time back. You can also visit our calendar, or you can actually see what we have coming up. So we have Go Guardian, Skyward, Canva, Learning.com, Nearpod, Seesaw, Magic School AI, and Google Classroom all coming up in the next couple of months. And if you want to know all the latest tips and tricks in the instructional technology world, you can subscribe to our newsletter. Josh puts this out about once a month, sometimes twice a month, and we gear them towards all of our Midland ISD teachers. And now I am giving it to Josh.
Awesome. Thank you, Sherry. Well, welcome to everyone who is joining us virtual right now, or if you're watching later on our YouTube channel. We welcome you to our first Tech Tuesday of the year, and we're so glad that you're here. So like Sherry said, we just have a few tech updates for you. First thing that we want to talk about real quick is Adobe. We have, well, not just Adobe specifically, Adobe Express. So we've had it for a while now, since last year, but we know that there are some teachers that honestly still don't know about this. So Adobe Express has been made available for free to all teachers, all staff, all students. And it's really easy to get to. You just go to your Google homepage, you click the little waffle with the dots, and the Adobe Express app will be right in there. And you can also get to it from your ClassLink homepage as well. And you might be asking, what is Adobe Express? Well, it's kind of like Canva. It's just a really cool design tool. You can use it to make posters, videos. You can use it for all kinds of cool projects for you and your students. And another thing that we want to make you aware of is that ever since Power Up at the beginning of the year, Adobe actually came to train us. And so me and my team are now, we are now offering trainings for you to become Adobe Express certified. So you can be what's called an ACE. It's an Adobe certified educator. So with Adobe Express. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. Another thing that we want to make you aware of is I actually just dropped some links into the chat. But you can chat us if you're, interested in the Adobe Express certification. But a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about in this presentation, I have dropped some links in the chat. So we want to make you aware of that. We're really excited about that. Another tech update that we have for you, this is a really big one, is learning.com. And a lot of you probably have already heard of learning.com. But if you don't know, learning.com is a web-based TEKS aligned, that's the really cool part. It's Texas Education Standard aligned curriculum that has to do with technology. It's for grades K through 8. And I'm just going to read off of the slide here. It engages students as they learn keyboarding, digital citizenship, computational thinking, and coding. So it has a lot of that stuff in there. And we're really excited because, as you probably have heard already, Texas updated its technology TEKS, and so the state of Texas. And so we've adopted this for all teachers. It's available for all teachers and students to use. Kids can access it from any classroom. Although specific teachers have been chosen to actually implement that to their students, but kids can use it from any classroom. So students can now get to learning.com straight from their ClassLink. So that's kind of what it looks like. There's a little red arrow there pointing to learning.com. That's kind of what the app will look like in the ClassLink homepage. If you're a teacher and you haven't heard as much about it, or you didn't get a chance to go to some of the trainings, there is the online training center. We encourage all of you guys to go in there and check that out. Once teachers log in, they will see all of their classes. So there's kind of what it looks like. It kind of lists out your classes. Teachers can get more info about assigning lessons and learning paths through that training center. So just that blue bar at the top, you can click on where it says online online training center and get more information that way. Already we're starting to see some statistics of teachers who are actually getting into it and using it and launching it. So we're really excited that some of you guys are already using that. So we just encourage you, if you haven't checked it out already, go check it out, because some of the TEKS and the digital citizenship stuff in learning.com is really cool. Another thing is the library. Once you log in, once again, to that homepage with the little blue bar at the top, learning.com has a lot of built-in learning tracks. There's the essentials, which is kind of the bare bones of what we need to be SIPA compliant for the students to learn all the cool stuff they need to learn about in terms of like online safety and all of that. But we encourage you to go in to the Texas blended learning path, which has even more. But honestly, if you just kind of communicate with you and your fellow teachers, you're going to be able to see a lot of great stuff that you can assign to your students. Okay, I'm going to hand it off to Marissa to talk about Nearpod.
Great, thank you, Josh. So I want to update you on Nearpod's newest features. So if you haven't used Nearpod, it can be for any teacher from K to 12, and even pre-K students could possibly use Nearpod. Their newest feature is their quiz option, so you can add different test type questions now instead of just the single question. And you can also give your students feedback. This one kind of was implemented towards the end of last year, but if you haven't seen that, you can give your students feedback in real time by giving them a sticker. You can type them a little note. And now, I've never seen this, but the kids have the option of raising their hand during your lesson and also giving little reactions. So, and another thing, if you haven't done this yet, but when you're making a lesson in Nearpod, you can share the same lesson with another teacher so you guys can work on it together or with the team. So it's kind of like Google Slides, in that you both can be editing your Nearpod lesson while you get it ready. All right, and then now I'm going to update you on some Seesaw. So this is for your pre-K through second grade teachers. So if you are not a pre-K through second grade teachers, please share this with them, and maybe if you can say, hey, this is what Seesaw can do for your class. Or if you have a child in pre-K through second grade, here's some cool things that their classrooms might be doing. So they have this new question types. So you have short answer, open-ended, and reading fluency. These are all new question types in Seesaw. And the reading fluency will actually listen to the student read, and it'll auto score there as they read. And the assistant in the multiple choice questions will actually generate questions for you. So you can just type in, I need word problem questions for first grade on this math edition, and it'll create some word problems for you, and those will also be auto graded. So anytime you use AI, just make sure you double check the accuracy of the answers. And Seesaw also has focus mode now, so you can take off some of the frames that you don't want students using, and you can check off the ones that you do want them to use. So this will help the kids stay focused and only use the tools that they need to use. Flex cards is new. This one's really amazing. You can put up to 30 different flip cards in one question. So for example, you see here in the blue, you have a blank ×3. The kids will flip through the card until they get to the correct number. You can also use this for blending words, so you can put sounds in here. And then they also have a read with me. This is where the teacher would actually type some text, read it aloud. It's got 2 minutes time. And when the students listen to it, it'll read the words with you as you are reading. So kind of highlight your words as you're going. So if you need help with Nearpod or Seesaw, I can come to your classroom, help your kiddos get started with that. Just let us know. Another tech update is that Flip is no longer available. So Microsoft kind of retired Flip, but an option that I am suggesting is Padlet. So Padlet is really cool in that you can set up the things that you want the students to use as well. So if you want them to make videos and share with students to listen to their thinking, this is kind of what it would look like. So you can have the students share out the Padlet. They will click the plus sign, and they can choose video recorder, and that way they can record their voice and let you know their thinking. And Seesaw also has this feature, but for upper grades, you can use Padlet. If you still want to use kind of the same features that Flip had, this would be another option for you. So that's a little update I wanted to share. And then my last tech update is for Discovery Education. It is in your ClassLink. They have a new experience for the search option. So you just toggle on the try new search beta, and it has a new way of searching for things that you want in your classroom. But here are their top 2 things that they are saying that are very popular in Discovery Education. Is going to be their daily fix-its. So if you just search daily fix-its, there's one for every single month, and you just click on that and you can assign different sentence for the students to edit their sentences. They also have great activities for 6th through 8th grade, so middle school, high school, not just elementary. So if you haven't checked out Discovery Education, please do. It is also in your ClassLink. And now I'm going to hand it back over to Josh to go over another app in your ClassLink.
Awesome. Thank you, Marissa. And yeah, for the rest of the time here, we're going to be focusing a little more on ClassLink. And just as she was talking about things that are in your ClassLink, another thing that we want to make you aware of in case you hadn't noticed, because, as teachers, we have a million things in our ClassLink, right? And sometimes it's hard to keep track, right? And so you might not have seen it, but it's there. There's this new app called MISD Curriculum. You can see the red arrow pointing to it there. Basically, before, I think last year, a lot of our curriculum resources were scattered. And so what they've done is they've put those all together in one place for teachers to get to it very easily. So if you click on that, there's kind of a shot of what it looks like once you open that app. It's basically a website, and it just breaks down all of the resources by grade and content. So you can see there it goes all the way from early childhood through the different math, science, social studies, all the way to CTE and all of that. And so we just want to encourage you to go use that resource. It's just the little app that has the red, white, and blue MISD logo. And so you'll find your curriculum resources there. Okay, so talking about ClassLink. Most of you already are familiar with ClassLink if you've been here already and you've been using it. There's just a couple of things that have changed that we want to make you aware of. And so I dropped some of this into the chat earlier. So if you're just now joining us, make sure you go into the chat. We've dropped some really important links in there. And so this is one of them. We also put the QR code on the screen if you want to scan it, but you do have the link. And you also have the link to this slideshow presentation if you want to go back and look at some of this stuff later. But what this QR code will take you to is a link. It's midlandisd.net/loginhelp. So that's /loginhelp. And what it is, it's basically a how-to guide. It's a view-only guide with kind of some pages that you can flip through. And it's going to help you because I know at the beginning of the year, sometimes it's a little bit of weirdness kind of getting all of your students logged in, especially like if you're a teacher that uses a computer lab. So we wanted to provide this resource to kind of help you navigate the different ways you can help students basically to log in and to get started with ClassLink. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm just going to take us through this guide. There are on some of the next slides in this presentation some other tips and tricks that we may not have a chance to get to today, but we want you to check those out as well. And that's why we've provided you with the link to this presentation. But for now, let's go ahead and check out that midlandisd.net/loginhelp. And I'm going to share my screen here. And so this is kind of what it looks like. Hopefully everyone can see that. Yes, just give me a thumbs up if you can see that. Okay, great. Awesome. So I'm just going to kind of flip through here. And so on the very first page, you'll see we wanted to kind of get this out to everyone as well. There's a link that you can visit where you can easily reset your password. Students are able to do this now as well this year. So that was a big thing that we wanted to let everybody know about. That's midlandisd.net/password. Okay, really easy, midlandisd.net midlandisd.net/password, and it'll take you to just this really basic kind of reset tool on a page, really basic, and you can go through that and reset your password. Okay, so this is still kind of the same. Students will be able to log in with their ID badge. So, like if they're on a Chromebook or an iPad, they can just shine their ID right in front of the screen, in front of the camera, and the badge will take the student directly through into ClassLink. So you're probably already familiar with that. Now, let's say the students are in a lab with Windows PCs, or they're at a computer and they don't have their badge. So for the Windows login specifically, if a student is at a desktop computer, they will need to log in manually with their student ID number for the username. And for the password will be MISD plus the ID number again. So for example, number, with the password is MISD, and then once again, the ID number. And so we wanted to kind of show you a visual of what that looks like, because sometimes it can get a little confusing. And another thing we want you to know is when the student does this on a Windows computer, they will be prompted to reset their password. It should only be the first time that they log in. So we just wanted to make you aware of it. It's a little bit different for, as you know, on a Windows computer. Now on the Chromebook, that's probably where most of you are familiar. The students have been using the Chromebooks. And so on a Chromebook, students with, we wanted to make you aware of this though. Like, let's say the student doesn't have their ID, their ID badge. What they will need to do is click that little button that says enter Google account info. So they're going to click that. All right. And then they're going to type in their student email address. Now, of course, because it's Google, it already fills in the @midlandisd.net. So of course, they don't actually have to type that. I don't think they should have to, but it is logging in with the full email address. So as an example, they would type in their Stu dot and then their first initial last name with the 2 numbers. And then of course it fills out the rest with @midlandisd.net. And then their password would be the same password as the way they had always logged in. So that's how they would log in onto a Chromebook if they didn't have their ID badge. All right. Now, for the ClassLink login, once they get to the login, well, first let me back up. Once logged into the desktop computer or the Chromebook, the student will have to go to launchpad.classlink.com/Midland, and that's just the link to get to ClassLink, and enter their 6-digit student ID number or the username and their same password that they just reset to. So we don't want the students to be confused. It's not the password, but it's the password that they have already reset. So the one that would prompt when they were prompted to do that. So they would enter into that, and that's how they would be able to get to ClassLink. So just a little side note for pre-K through 4th grade, the default password is the campus mascot plus the number. So for an example, like Tigers 101. So that would be like an example of their default. Now for 5th grade through 12th grade, the default password is, like I had said earlier, MISD plus ID number. And there's the example, the same example that was showing on that other slide. Grades 5th and up students will also be prompted to make a new password, like I had just said earlier, but they also will be prompted to create a 6-digit PIN and to set 3 recovery questions. So just to make you aware that they will need to do that. Another thing that's brand new starting out this year is the password reset, or well, actually it's the account claiming tool. It's this green button at the top of the home page of their ClassLink. Anyone can do this. You can just click that green button. If you forget your password, you can reset it with that password tool or that account claiming tool, or you can actually just visit misd.net/password, and that's the link that I gave you a while ago. And so we've tried to make that fairly easy. There is one little side note with that, is that once the student gets to the second question on that screen, that process of claiming the account, they need to remember to add the leading 0 if they are 1st through 9th grade. And as you can see there, if you hover over the little question mark, there's the little hint that shows them they how to type that in. So like 01, 02, for the grades 1 through 10, 1 through 9, excuse me. And so we just wanted to make you aware of that. Okay. So once, now for teachers, I think everything is pretty much the same. If I'm not mistaken, you just go to ClassLink from the MISD staff links page, or if you favorited it, you can just go to your ClassLink, or you can go to Midland. You go to Midland launchpad.classlink.com/Midland, and that's how you can get to your homepage. You just type in your username and password like you always do. Just remember, it's your first dot last name, not your full email. So that is a little confusing sometimes. I messed that up a lot at first because I'm just used to typing in my full email address, and that your muscle memory can kind of confuse you sometimes. So make sure you just do first dot last name, and then of course your password is the same as your computer login. And then, of course, we've got, I think this is a little old because now we've got the claim tool, but you can reset, like I had said before, you can reset your password on the homepage. So once you're logged in, you will have access to all of your district apps. For any help with tech issues, just remember to email us at techhelp@midlandisd.net. And I think that's pretty much it. How much time do we have, guys?
Okay, we have about 9 minutes. So Megan and Jamie, did you have any questions about any new tech updates like the Adobe or Seesaw or Nearpod or Discovery Education, or any questions about ClassLink? We'd like to hear from you and maybe what you teach.
Or feel free to post in the chat.
I know, I'm so sad that Flip is going away. So if you all think of any other alternatives to share with us, I know for the littles, Seesaw is a great one to use. And then for 3rd and up, I think Padlet is a great resource. We have a question about students losing their QR badge. Isabel?
Sure. Yes, I saw the question. If they lost their badges, like if it's a few students, you can go to your librarian. She can, or your media specialist, they can print them for you. If you need like your class set, we can provide that for you right now, or by email if you need. But other than that, if it's like individual students here and there, your librarian can actually print them, like print a new badge for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for chiming in and sharing your comments. We can stick around in case anybody wants to ask any more questions. Marissa, did you?
Yes, I was just gonna say if Jamie or even Megan, I'm not sure what grade you teach, but if you found any of those tech updates useful for your teachers or for your co-teachers, let them know, like about the Nearpod, the Seesaw, the Adobe, or anything that you saw in the upcoming Tech Tuesdays, and that way if they need help getting started with those, we can come by and help. And so we're so excited about those updates, or any old programs that you may have known about. We can let us know what you want to learn more about, and we're happy to. Okay, so Jamie missed the Adobe part. You want to cover that really quickly, Josh?
Absolutely. So let me see. I'm trying to get back to that page. And I shared my screen, so I think I broke my ability to co-host here, but she's shuttling back through to that. Basically, it was just one slide, Jamie. We just kind of were wanting to make everyone aware that Adobe Express is available to all teachers and students. You can get to it through your ClassLink homepage, or you can actually get to it from your Google waffle, your little Gmail waffle, the little button with the dots. It's very similar to Camp. That's actually a really good question. Honestly, they're both really great tools. I would use both. They're honestly very similar. Another thing that we wanted to make you guys aware of is that if you're interested, we're able to go to your campus and help you to become Adobe Express certified. So Adobe has this thing called ACE, where you can become an Adobe certified educator. So we're able to go and get you that certification. Marissa just dropped, I think, the presentation link into the chat. And so, yeah, if you're interested in that, please get in touch with us. We'd be more than happy to do that. It's a really easy course that you just take and you become Adobe certified. So we'd be more than happy to do that for you guys. Awesome. Well, we'll stick around for just a few more minutes. So if you're here with us live and you have more questions, feel free to stick around. But I'm going to go ahead and end this recording of Tech Tuesday. So if you're watching later on YouTube, we just want to say thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.